be interested in your thoughts about some of the appointments that we're seeing in the Trump administration. General Mattis as Defense Secretary, General Flynn as a National Security Advisor.
Sure. I was very delighted with General Mattis. You know, by the way, no Marine calls him Mad Dog. Marines call him Chaos, all right? So, which was his TAC call sign, all right, when he was in the Corps. But an awful lot said that I hired him because he's just like Patton. Actually, I think he's more like Marshall. Okay, he's kind of got that veneer of Patton, but beneath that veneer, this is a deeply, almost religious thinker on armed conflict and geostrategic questions. He goes by warrior monk, all right? And there's a lot more monk there than just that superficial warrior. And so I think what we've gotten in General Mattis is, number one, someone the president-elect really respects. That's really important because we're talking about, in my mind, counterbalancing perhaps some impulsiveness on the north bank of the Potomac with some, let's think about this one more time, okay, in Northern Virginia.
At the Pentagon.
Yeah, at the Pentagon. So I actually was delighted at that choice. I was on Fox News, and Brian Kilmeade asked me the question an hour or two ago, and I said, Brian, Jim Mattis will know the cost of going to war. He will make that cost very clear before any decision is made. Now, that's good. I mean, that's check, check, check. Other things, though, he's got to figure out how to spend $250 billion every year, and that's not his professional background. I mean, the Secretary of Defense also manages the department. So if you're looking for watch this space, watch who gets selected as the deputy, because that deputy is going to have a very important role now in the routine management of the department. And I'll just share with you one other thought. This is doable, and I know both men are going to do it, but I'm just telling you that, you know, it looks on the surface of it that we now have two chairmen of the Joint Chiefs, given the background of, by the way, they're both Marines, all right? It's just a relationship that simply has to be set, and you know, I'm the Secretary of Defense, you, General Dunford, remain the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, all right? So I think it's a very positive pick, but you know, you kind of have to tidy up behind it. Mike Flynn was a colleague of mine. Mike has a wonderful intelligence record, tactically, operationally, and in chasing terrorists, and that's where he kind of made his bones. This isn't quite that job. This is a global strategic job, not a tactical operational job. And so Mike will be stretched by that. Unless you're hiring a Brzezinski or a Kissinger or a Scowcroft, the National Security Advisor job is actually a process job. It's you know, you're making sure the trains run on time, the issues get teed up at the appropriate time. You make sure that the issues also have the benefit of the views of all the departments, and you bring those in before the president makes a decision. And so, you know, Mike is, you know, hadn't been a process guy, and so that's an additional thing that will extend him. And then I guess the third thing is that you saw him kind of by welcoming Mattis as a way to maybe balance what has so far appeared to have been impulsiveness on the part of the president-elect. Mike has appeared impulsive too.
A little less monk, more chaos.
Yeah, in the Twitter sphere. And so, you know, we'll see how that works out. I'll give you, again, remember the tell for defense was how, you know, who's the secretary, deputy secretary, and how that's going to work. The tell for the NSC, John, might be how big the staff is. The staff right now is at historically large numbers. It's well above 400. That's bad. That means a concentration of great power in the White House, and power is at the expense of the department. If General Flynn's staff is much smaller than that, in the range of what Brent Scowcroft had, which is 100 and change, I would be very heartened, because then that's a decision to govern with a more rich participation, a fuller paying attention to the departments, rather than isolating it on those 18 acres around the West Wing.